welcome to our operations update. I am Peter Valenzuela. I'm the Chief Medical Officer for Sutter Medical Group of the Redwoods. I'm here with my esteemed dyad partner and Area Operations Executive, Erin Neal. Erin, thanks for being here with me. So today we wanted to give you guys an update on some of the work we've been doing operationally. And wanted to start off talking about the moves that we'll be having here in the next few weeks. And then just kind of talk about our staffing and how we're handling the future from an operational standpoint with our leadership team. So
wait,
Erin,
Peter, don't we get a joke?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So Erin, what types of jokes are allowed during a quarantine?
I'm not sure. What kind of jokes are allowed?
Inside jokes.
This is what I live with. Welcome to my world.
Yeah, thanks, Erin. So I wanted to start off by talking about the moves. And I've got a couple of slides that you're going to see being pulled up on the screen. The first one is really talking about the moves in preparation for COVID. And what we were trying to do is find a way to prepare for COVID and flu season as we go forward. And we were looking at our current run rates during the flu, and it tends to be about 120 to 150 visits a day. Now with COVID, we actually had to adjust for what would that look like and where could we see these patients. So as you can see in the slide, there was location criteria that we followed, including finding a place that was safe for patients and staff, being in a sequestered location away from our other care centers, being in a place that could be scalable that we could grow into if we needed to, and making sure that whatever we built was in a workable environment that was free from the elements and that could be effectively and efficiently done. And as we were looking for locations, we were kind of looking at something that was going to keep that cultural consistency, which meant we didn't want to separate our providers out of their clinics and put them in different places. We wanted to keep our care centers together. We wanted to make sure our patients knew where to go on a consistent basis. We wanted to be as efficient as possible, meaning being able to utilize respiratory care staff and urgent care staff when needed. And also, because this is so unpredictable, we're trying to think of surge capacity in an area that we could grow into. And so, in the next slide, you're going to see that we actually have decided to designate the Ward campus as our respiratory kind of same-day care site and for surge planning. And so, as you can see on the slide, the same-day respiratory care clinic is going to be moving to 4702 Hohen, which is currently our pediatrics clinic. The same-day non-respiratory care clinic will be moving next door to 4700 Hohen, where the family medicine, internal medicine is. And then 2455 Summerfield, which is currently the Grove, is going to be kind of our surge overflow site. Now, what's going to happen to those clinics? Well, Hohen FM and IM are going to be moving to Airway, and they're going to be where same-day clinic is right now on the first floor. Hohen Pediatrics is going to be at Stony Circle, and the Grove will also be at Stony Circle. Now, these were decisions that we made operationally to keep our patients safe, to keep our staff safe, and to make sure that we had the capacity for growth. So, Erin, I know that we've been doing a lot of work around staffing and planning for that, so could you give us kind of an update on where we are?
More than happy to. First of all, I just want to commend everybody on the awesome work that they have been doing the last 5 months and bringing patients. First, we de-escalated the clinics and then bringing patients back in. And in the month of July, we were at 98% of our volume. So I think we need to really celebrate that. And that's on the backs of everybody working really well together. That statement of that courage is grace under pressure. Well, we're very courageous here because we've had a lot of pressure in the last 3 years, and I just want to acknowledge that. Yeah. When we de-escalated the clinics, of course, we did not really touch any of our staffing, but what we did during that time is that we actually put the positions on hold, and then any new replacement positions were also put on hold. So the last 2 months in June and July, we have been doing very serious assessments of staffing. We also brought in 2 new service lines, which is the respiratory clinic and this front door screening. And those are critically important to our operations because that's how we keep everyone safe who's working here, but also the patients, that we keep them free from exposure to COVID, potential COVID virus. So We have had an increase in leave of absences in our clinical staff, and that the leave of absences are hovering around 13%. We've seen that ease up a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but we do have some shortages that I feel people are probably feeling everywhere with that. But we have a robust control process, position control process. So I'm very happy to announce that we went through a very serious assessment of staffing, and we determined that we needed about 53 positions, which we submitted up to the Bay Area. When we have our staffing process, what happens is it goes to our joint operation leadership team here, our local JOLT team that meets every morning. We then make some decisions about what positions should be put in place, and then we have to submit it up to the Bay for approval. We submitted 53 positions, and 48 of those positions were approved, with 5 of the positions being held. It wasn't that they were declined, they're just being held right now.
That's really good news.
What that is, it amounts to is there are at least 22 replacement positions. There are 16 brand new positions to support the new physicians and providers, clinicians that we have coming on board. And then we did 15 limited term positions for some of the leaves. I also wanted to let you know that every morning we meet with the managers, and JOLT comes in at the end of it, where we go over our safety issues, so we know where we are having problems in the clinics. We also report out on our clinic status. That means how many providers are in the clinic, how many staff are in the clinic, how many of their staff per department are being pulled to respiratory clinic or to front door screening, and how many are being asked to go to another clinic site. And I just have to say, I'm incredibly proud of the way teams are working, and I think it's can be attributed to the dyad partnership at the front line with the manager and the site leads, knowing what they need in their clinics and being able to have some flexibility to share with other clinics. And I really am asking, we are in the middle of a crisis, and I think it's important that we maintain that flexibility even as we get tired and as we start coming into the fall and the flu season. Because if you're able to share some capacity with your staff with somebody else when your clinic needs it, it will be there for you. So thank you to you guys for doing that. We're doing everything we can to make sure that we take care of our patients safely and that we support each other.
Yeah, thanks, Erin.
Anything
No, I think you've hit it on the head. I mean, the key for us is really going to be to keep our physician and clinician partnership with the foundation, to make sure that we have enough staff and the right staff to be able to support our patient care services, and make sure that our dyads are engaged in making those decisions on a morning by morning basis. Because right now we're still in the gray on which schools are going to be opening up, which ones are not, and which staff are going to need childcare and which ones can actually come in. So that is why we're having daily morning huddles to find out if anyone's calling in sick or if anyone's on leave, so that we can try to distribute the staff in an efficient way to provide that care. And again, this is being done on a daily basis, and we're involving our physician and clinician leaders as well as our managerial staff.
And from the front line.
Yeah.
It's not a decision that I'm going to be making from my chair.
Yes, we're doing this together. So I really just want to say thank you for hanging in there, and Erin, thanks so much for all of your support and being my dyad, and you guys stay well, and we look forward to keeping you updated on the future events.
Thanks. See you guys later.